rough around the edges is all about making things and making do's that we can do at home, especially in these difficult circumstances at the moment. And I'm using A4 paper because generally that's the paper you're going to find around the house. A3 is good too, but A4 is probably what you will find. Now I'm going to take this piece of paper and we're going to make a very simple paper glider using an aerofoil, and later on in our outdoor classroom in the garden we'll look at why fixed wings were very efficient and why humans flapping probably wasn't a good idea. Now, to start, to make our paper glider, we take this short edge and pull it and drag it over to this other short edge to make what we probably call a small book fold. And we open it up and we have the center fold here. Now I'm going to turn it round into portrait and take the long edge and fold the long edge to meet this long edge on this side. And I'm creasing really well all these folds and then opening it up, and we have now this crisscross fold. Now to make our paper glider, I'm on this occasion going to take the short edge and we're going to fold that short edge carefully down to that center fold here. Now you'll need both hands for this, and press down again and crease. Now you're left with this short edge here now. I want to drag that short edge to the center fold, and we're now creating the leading edge of the wing. And also we're going to be making what's called a partial aerofoil. And I'm going to take this fold here and now for the third fold flip it over and press down really hard. Now you can use sellotape to sellotape down this edge, or like this Pritt Stick glue, which is quite nice and tacky. It's not got too much water in it. And if you use PVA, it would be too runny and too wet and would warp the wing. And I'm just going to now fold and stick that down. And this makes our aerofoil. You've got a sort of lumpy edge here at the leading edge, a small lump. And we can maybe talk about aerofoils at another time and how they work. And you've got this thin trailing edge. Now even as I bend here, we have a dihedral angle that we've created. And in a way, it's a bit like a sort of person holding their arms out trying to balance on a tightrope. It helps with stability as it's flying through the air, and therefore helps with its lift indirectly. Now, I'm going to fold it in half very carefully, and with a pencil I'm going to draw a shape which will have the wing, the fuselage, which is actually the body, and a tail. Now I'm going to start at the tail end. As you can see, this is the open edges. I'm going to start drawing my tail. I'm going to come in and start to draw what we call the body or fuselage, and then I'm going to come out to make the wing. And I've got a trailing edge, a thin edge, and then the aerofoil here. Now I'm going to cut the shape out, cutting through both bits of paper. That's important. So we get symmetry with the shape. I'm cutting and following my pencil line, and then I'm just going to cut those bits away. At the moment, it doesn't look much like an aeroplane or a glider. If I open it up and I hold it this way, it looks like a big fat cuddly T, capital T shape. But actually, you can see now the wings, the thinner trailing edge, the fuselage and the tail. Now the trickier bit. Looks like I'm going to fold it shut, but actually I'm just going to fold back the wing, the body and the tail all in one go there, pressing very hard, and then flip it over and do the same on the other side. Now everything has to be mirrored and be symmetrical. Now we've already now got our paper glider, as you can see, but we can improve on this. Now if I open it up slightly and take my glue, and I put some glue down the middle, making sure it's well distributed, and take some of the scrap paper that I had earlier and now make a tail fin, a bit like a shark's fin, make it quite large And we can now marry that up with the fuselage here and stick it down, and then take the whole part of the fuselage and wing together, and stick it and trap that fin in here at the back. I'm just going to straighten everything out best I can without creasing the fin. And there's our fin. So we have our paper glider. And later on in the outdoor classroom, when we're outside with my volunteers, we can test and throw maybe some of these gliders around. But also we're going to be looking at the benefits of a fixed wing, which this is, over something like a flapping wing, where energy and power is needed. And also thrust, and how to push maybe a wing through the air to help get lift. So we'll do a few experiments outside later. But if you want to improve the flight, you can take a little bit of tack here, or a paper clip, and you can add and subtract weight from the nose here. Too much weight, it won't fly very well. And you can experiment. Now this is all about experimentation. And this gives you one design, but you can experiment by taking others, like these ones I've made a little bit earlier. And you can see the different shapes. And you can test them and measure the difference in performance. And you can end up with a family of shapes and family of designs and create a range of your own gliders and test them over how far they can fly, if they can do loop-the-loop or do other tricks. Here we are again in the outdoor classroom, and we've got some sun, we have a little breeze, and we've got Annie, who's going to be volunteering once more. Annie is going to show why humans can't fly like birds. Now, Annie,
yeah,
can you stick your arms out? Now you can see we've got arms, not wings. We're going to ask Annie to flap and see if she can take off. That's it, flap harder if you can. She's trying really hard, but as you can see, you're getting a little bit of sweat off the brow, but not much lift, if any at all. So no lift at all. Now, there are several reasons why poor Annie can't fly like birds. One is she's heavier than a bird, and I don't mean that personally, honest, I don't. Humans are just full of blood, gunk, heavy bones, big brain. Birds, on the other hand, like this hollow cardboard tube, have hollow bones and large air spaces all over their body, as well as, of course, feathers and huge muscles up here. Now, if Annie can demonstrate flapping again, her muscles aren't as powerful as birds. So birds really have it when it comes to flying, except when we use our brains, because we've got huge brains. Look now, we've got wings. Will Annie be able to fly better with flapping wings? So Annie, give it a go. She's giving it all she's got, and we still haven't got off the ground. And the reason is, we have even more weight now. Poor old Annie's bones and her brains, as heavy as they are, the wings now are creating weight as well. So no matter what we try to do, when all that energy flapping is wasted. Now Annie's got fixed wings. We'll see if this will improve things. Now Annie, I'm going to get you to run round the board and see if we can get lift. Right, go! Ooh. Oh. Oh. So we can stop now. We can see that that didn't really help. We didn't have enough power and we still had too much weight. Now we're ready to do another experiment. We're going to look at thrust and resistance. And we have Annie, who is going to be our test pilot, but there is a slight problem. She's 5 months pregnant, and our health and safety register executive, we decided possibly we need to get a stunt double. So her brother, James, who isn't 5 months pregnant, is going to do the more dangerous part of this experiment. Now, we've got here a leaf blower. Do not do this at home. This is just for showing an example of how we can create a jet thrust. Very noisy, and when Frank Whittle with his first jet aircraft, they tried to get off the ground, it actually didn't work the first time because they tried to do it on grass and there was too much resistance under the wheels of that trolley, and their aircraft just didn't move until they put it onto concrete. So that's probably what we're going to do. So poor old Annie on this occasion is stepping back for her brother. Oh, she's resigned.